Hello and welcome to Deloitte. I'm Claire Weller and I'm here with Dominic Cockram, a risk advisory partner at Deloitte, for more in our Cyber Insights series. Dominic, when a business has another organisation processing its data, what additional complexities does that add to the problem of data breach?
It's a very interesting and complicated area, that of the controller, the people who are responsible for the data, and the processor, the business that is often managing that data on behalf of a controller. And the relationship between these two, when a data breach happens, when the processor has had the data breach, is a very key aspect that people are wrestling with very much now. So as a processor, when you suffer a data breach, you have a responsibility without undue delay to notify the controller, who has the responsibility to notify the regulator. Interestingly, the controller obviously also has the responsibility to notify the data subjects, the individuals, the customers, the patients who have lost the data. However, I think one of the complex areas now is often in this processor-controller relationship. The controller is often a front-end sales-focused organization, and the processor is the business that has all of this data on its servers. So in order for the controller to take up that responsibility of notification, often we're finding they don't have the capability because they are often quite small organizations, maybe with quite a large brand, but with someone managing as a third-party supplier the complexities. So actually the processor potentially is going to need to think about being a part of that notification process. They have the data, they know what data has been lost, and therefore they have the means with which potentially to notify those people. They have their addresses or they have their email addresses, whereas the controller doesn't have that information. So I think the bottom line is that controllers and processors have now got to get together much more closely to discuss, if there is a data breach, exactly how are we going to respond together to manage the people who have suffered. And that really is about good planning. So getting in place the right relationships around what is a very sensitive subject, as you can imagine. If you're a processor and you've had a data breach, you don't particularly want a lot of other people from other businesses in the room with you discussing it. However, how that controller does come into your crisis response process and take a part and understand what is going on in order that they can conduct their own process is something that actually we're beginning to see businesses look at in a lot more detail, starting to run exercises together to really work through the different roles and responsibilities, the different activities that they're each going to do. Who's going to be talking to the media? Who's going to be talking to the customer? Which brand will be at the top of the letter to that customer, if you like? All of these are areas that basically these two parties in a transaction now need to start talking about.
Dominic, thank you for explaining that controller and processor relationship for us, and thank you very much indeed for watching.